When shopping for an RV for myself, this is one that was on my list because I insist on traveling with a motorcycle when I travel in my RV, and you'll see why this was on the list when we take a look inside. Let's go. Welcome back to another video, y'all. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today in Mesa, Arizona, taking a look at this 2024 Forest River Cherokee Gray Wolf Black Label 24RRTBL. The BL in that just stands for Black Label. And although this is a 2024 model, they still make it in 2025 as well. This is just one of those models that I think is a really interesting option if somebody wants to bring toys along with them and doesn't want that huge footprint that comes with a fifth wheel toy hauler. Although this is a fairly long travel trailer toy hauler as well. You'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen. And as we come around to the other side, you can see there are no slide outs here on this travel trailer, which I think really helps with the weight. Still feels like there's plenty of space in here. I will say this definitely just felt a little too long for me in my half-ton truck. That was the biggest thing that steered me away from this. It's about 33.5 feet long. 33 feet 4 inches. Dry weight is 6,220 pounds. So from a dry weight standpoint, it's not too bad. The tongue weight on this is over 1,000 pounds, which that can drop down a little bit if you load something heavy like a motorcycle or ATV or side-by-side or whatever in the back area here. But that being said, this overall, I'm kind of glad I didn't go with this option, because I would recommend a 3/4 ton truck for something this long. Even just towing my travel trailer into Arizona from Texas, I went through some incredibly high wind areas. I mean, it felt like it had to have been at least 60-mile-an-hour winds that I drove through. And even with my 26-foot, 27-foot long travel trailer, it was pretty uncomfortable. I mean, it definitely was pushing me around quite a bit, so this just would have felt too big for my half-ton truck. But if you have a truck that you feel comfortable towing this in, I think it's a pretty dang cool option. It's fiberglass sided on the outside, 2 20-pound propane bottles, power tongue jack. It's wood framed, and then you can see the storage space through here. You have your solar charge controller there with a light, and then it has this HC15 frame, which is specific to Gray Wolf, which you can go ahead and pause the video if you want to read some information about that. Going along this side here, 2 entry doors, both are glass entry doors there. And then you have the Lippert quick drop stabilizer legs on here. Very solid stabilizers. These are my favorite for a manual stabilizer out right now. So really like those. You have a traditional RV step here with a solid step there. Nice thing about this is if you park too close to something on this side, those steps can hit a point where you're not going to have room to be able to get them out of the door. But these here, you'll always be able to get in and out of that door no matter how close you're parked to something, as long as you're able to squeeze that door open. Awning up over this area, and you have a pretty cool little compact outdoor kitchen area. Grill cooktop here. You have your little mini outdoor refrigerator with the small freezer section. And then you have an ice maker and an outdoor shower area all in this one area. Sorry, I just said area a ton of times. But in that space there, you have some driven outdoor speakers right here. And you have frameless windows on this Black Label series, along with all-terrain tires that don't really provide any function, just make it look a whole heck of a lot better. So if you got like a lifted F250 with some all-terrain tires on it, this would look pretty dang good behind that. Patio door that drops down. I can't get it down all the way, unfortunately, but this can drop down to the ground to make it a ramp door coming up for your toys, or just be a patio to hang out on there. So just keep in mind that'll extend the length of your overall footprint when you're at your campsite with that patio down. So that'll add about, I want to say like 8 feet or so to your total overall length on your footprint when you have that patio down. It does have an enclosed underbelly, so you can see they have that Armor underbelly tank enclosures. I believe it'll also have 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks as well. No screen installed on your entry door here, so if that's something you want, you can get that installed. And then you have a light over the door as well. As we walk inside, really nice open space in here. So all of this is where your toys can go. Plus, obviously, you see you have your sofa arrangements here. You have a really, really large table that can sit between the two sofas. Now with this area, these sofas are incredibly lightweight. So you have these back cushions here. And if you want to get this flat up against the wall, you can see this cushion can also lift up, and there's just a couple hinges back there, and these will lift up and go flat against the wall. So you have a spare tire underneath there as well. So you can free up the space to load toys into here very, very easily. It's not a super complicated process to get those up out of the way when needed so that you can load more toys into here. For me, I was just thinking of, wanting to bring a motorcycle along, so I don't need a terribly large amount of space, but that's what you're working with. And then you have tie downs here in the flooring there. Now, the only thing to be mindful of in this is if you have any liquids that come around these areas, make sure they don't sit there too long so it doesn't like seep up under there and get into the, flooring material that's under there. That's something that can cause damage. So just be mindful of that. You have speakers up here in the ceiling in both of these spots, and then a bigger speaker right here, all part of your driven speaker system. So you have this subwoofer speaker in this toy hauler. Some storage space here, 2,000 pound cargo capacity on here. And then you can see they have some safety details here with loading cargo in here and just understanding the weight that you're dealing with in a toy hauler like this. Things you got to be a little bit more mindful of, just kind of understanding how you're towing, which again is why I just didn't want to go with a unit this big with the weight I would be loading in with a half-ton truck. It was just a little too much for me, for my liking. Right here you have these little points right here that will allow you to mount or secure that base of the sofa to the wall. And then you have pleated shades on your windows. So we're seeing some elements in here that are a little bit more entry level for a travel trailer, but we also have some elements that are a little bit nicer, like the fiberglass sidewalls, the all-terrain tires, the frameless windows, things like that. So it comes to a bit of a modest price point for a toy hauler this size, where we're at $39,980. If you're looking for your next RV of any kind, there's a link down below in the comments and description that will help you find a Blue Compass store close to you, as there's over 100 different stores across the United States. And then there's all kinds of different information here that we could take a look at as well that come on this Grey Wolf package. One thing that's interesting too, they have a low tire pressure indicator cap. So the caps on the tires will let you know if you have low pressure going on there. I think that's pretty cool. You also have a backup camera installed already, and you have an accessory rack along the back installed, except I don't believe that's going to be the case on this toy hauler because we got a garage door back there, but you'll see that on some of the other models. You also have an air fryer in here. We have the electric fireplace, so an electric heat source for you. Solid surface countertops. So nice ceramic-like material. You have solid wood cabinet doors. Then you can see here on these 24s, they had kind of like this wicker style design here. And then you have a 3-burner gas stove. No oven, so they're giving you the air fryer in the microwave. Again, solid wood cabinet doors and drawers with a magnet latch there to hold those shut. And you do have a designated spot here for a trash can. Nice little area there. It's another drawer here. Charcoal stainless steel sink, all of your cool different sink accessories that will come in here. You have multiple different trays. You have the soap dispenser, you have the cup rinser, and you have the detachable faucet. And then you have a vent fan that will vent out smells while you are cooking. Now, one point of concern on this travel trailer as well for me is you have a single air conditioner unit here. It is ducted through the trailer, but it is just a 30 amp travel trailer, and this is quite a bit of length for a 30 amp travel trailer. So I would be skeptical how well this would perform in like very, very hot climates if you're wanting to go like out into the desert with your toys and things like that. I'd be skeptical for how well this is going to keep the bedroom cool. That AC is definitely going to have to be on all day when you're in, 90 plus degree heat to keep that bedroom cool. So if you're leaving your RV all day, that might not be a problem. But if you plan to spend time in your RV during the day, that's something to just be aware of. It might be a little difficult to take a nap in the bedroom. We have liquefied here. This is the black tank treatment you can find for your RV. We're about to go into the bathroom, and this is going to make sure that everything that goes through your toilet breaks down and decomposes properly and drains out properly. Plus, it keeps your RV smelling fresh. You can find this on Amazon in the powder, liquid, and pod formulas. Plus, it's now on Blue Compass RV shelves as well. I just saw it in the parts department here at the Mesa location with Blue Compass RV. Pass-through bathroom here. You have a ceramic sink. I can feel the AC blowing through very strongly here. I mean, it is blowing through with a great amount of force. I can feel it all the way out as far as I can reach before my hand hits the wall. So definitely a lot of power that the air is blowing through here. For some reason, my generator keeps like resetting. But other than that, the air is blowing through very forcefully, so that is good. Same thing here in the bedroom. The single AC vent is forcefully pushing through a lot of air, but I just don't know. I haven't had the experience of camping in something like this to really know how well this might be able to perform realistically. So I feel like at night, in most cases, it would be fine, but during the day is when it would have a challenge, I would think. Shower here has a very large base right there, and you have this nice shower tower system. You don't find that too often in travel trailers. My head goes up into the skylight in this shower, so standing at about 6'1", you can see how I fit in here. And that's going to be good for maybe about 6'3" with the skylight. I would also have to duck or use the wand to get under the water there. But the base of this is very large, and then it has the traditional shower curtain here. So we go back into the bedroom. You have a tankless on-demand water heater. It's a RV king-size bed here, so just basically a shorter size king-size bed here in the bedroom. 2 individual reading lights up over each person that has a blue light and a warm light as well. So 2 different light options. Nice tall wardrobe storage so your clothes won't get wrinkly if you hang them in there, as they will have plenty of space to hang. See the blue light there and the warm light. Cabinet doors open here. Again, solid wood cabinet doors and drawer faces on these, so they're not a wrapped material. Spot for a TV on the wall there. More wardrobe storage as well. Also, we'll have storage up underneath the bed that goes into the pass-through storage area. Cubby space there. That kind of opens up and just has a little bit more storage here. And then you have some shelving up through this space. Magnet latches to hold those cabinet doors shut. And then a second entry door. Plus, you have this little inverter right here. This is going to be an outlet with USB ports also on it that you can use with the battery system, because that is just a little mini inverter. So pretty cool with that. And then that is pretty much everything. I think this toy hauler, it's such an interesting model because there's so many great things about it, and then there's a couple flaws about it too that are considerable drawbacks that I think some people could live with and some people would have a hard time living with. So I'm curious your thoughts. I'm sure you already probably let me know in the comments whether or not this is something you could camp in or travel in, but I'm curious what you think. So if you haven't shared already, let me know down below in the comments what you think about this travel trailer toy hauler that we're taking a look at. We'll go take a look at a couple things on the outside real quick just to complete this full walk around on the outside. Coming back this way, you have a leash latch out here, so spot for the pets. You have these vents that open up, so if you have anything with gas in here or whatnot, you'll have a vent on each side that will allow air to flow through and vent that area out. It does have a backup camera on here, and then it does not have the accessory rack, as I figured. Coming along this side, again, frameless windows. You have the lipper retractable ladder attachment, so if you get that lipper retractable ladder, it can attach in there to get up onto your roof. All of your water connections and your 30 amp connection are on this side. You have a spot to store your sewer hose down underneath here as well. And as we keep coming this way, all of your black and gray tanks will dump out of this one spot on the trailer. Freshwater and city water connections here, plus another outdoor shower and a black tank flush valve. A satellite cable connection there and your tankless water heater here. One last thing I wanted to take a look at before we go. Let's see here, where was it? What did I want to look at? Oh yeah, I want to see if it had 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks. I believe it will, but I want to make sure. Let's see, yep, heated tanks right here. So 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks. And that is pretty much everything. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I appreciate you watching, and until next time, live firmly unbound.